What's up, everybody? Welcome to Coffee Code and Chat on a Friday night where everybody else except me is going out. But you know what? I'm going to keep doing these Friday night streams, even though everybody could come back and check it out the next day if you can't join live. But if you are joining us live, let me know in the comments how you doing and if my audio is working before we get too crazy into this next part of discovering Remix. I think Remix is pretty awesome. And today we're going to learn how to set up together Tailwind and Remix. I think it's going to be awesome. But if you're in the comments, let me know if you could hear me, see me, and everything works. If not, it's okay. We'll figure it out. But today we're going to talk about adding Tailwind to Remix. Is going to be a lot of fun. And if you've never used Remix, I suggest you highly check it out. You could go to the first video in the series where we set up Remix and kind of getting started with it. But today we're just going to work on getting started with Tailwind. And again, thank you for joining Coffee Code and Chat on Friday, 8 p.m. US Central Time. And I know these streams are going to be light on Friday because normal people usually go out and party. I'm the only one who just doesn't go anywhere and stays home. And so today we're going to work on setting up Tailwind. And so why not just get right into it? And so let's go over and check out what we have done so far and take a look at the project that we built. And it's nothing special because we're just starting out. And so far we have this basic project where, you know, if you go to the initial page, what you see is you see a link to blog post page. And then when you go to a blog post page, we're getting data of the posts that we have. We're iterating through them and showing them. And then we're using nested routes in Remix. So when you click the route, it will show that page that we want of the selected blog that we chose. And so today what we want to do is make this a little bit prettier. Maybe, hopefully. And what we're going to do, we're just going to add Tailwind to this. But before we get there, let's kind of do a quick walkthrough of the code. So this is our project, and the files that we really want to take a look in, and let me zoom in a little bit, is inside the routes folder. So we open it. Our initial folder that shows our homepage is this index page. And all we're doing here is literally just linking to our blog post page. And what's interesting here, we have a post page and we have posts. So post refers to the page that shows our posts that we're linking from our homepage here. So if we go to posts, let me zoom out a little bit. What we're doing is we're getting our data with our loader function that we learned about last week, and we're using our useLoaderData hook. And so we're getting our data from our API, which is obviously powered by Strapi, who would have guessed. And what we're doing is we getting those posts, we're mapping through the posts, and we're displaying the posts on the screen, as you could see here. And whenever someone clicks on the post, what happens is going to reroute to this posts.id link. And what that refers to, it refers to our post folder. And whenever you set up your folder name the same as the parent folder, what you're able to do, you're able to create nested routes. And so we have our slug.jsx file, which basically, if you click on it, what it does, it gets the data based on the post, based on the ID. And eventually we'll redo the slug. It's some changes we have to do in the API that we're going to do later, but it's not important right now. And we're showing and we're getting that data. And the way we're showing the data in our parent folder, if you look at posts here, we're using this outlet component. So whatever we're displaying in our slug.js, it is being rendered in our post page inside the outlet. And so if we take a look, this is what it looks like. So this section here gets rendered from the outlet. And again, if we don't pass an ID, we still render the post page, right? But we don't show any content unless we pass a URL, either ID or slug. And so here we are. So what we want to do now is go through the process of adding Tailwind. And so the best way to do it, I just Googled how to install Tailwind with Remix, and we get to this page here, which is fantastic. So we're going to go through this process together. So what I'm going to do is we already have a Remix application running. So what we're going to do, we're going to install Tailwind, post CSS, auto prefixer, concurrency, because we're going to need that all to be able to set up our Tailwind. So what I'm going to do is copy and paste this. So let me open the terminal here. Stop the terminal, clear, make it a little bit bigger so you can see what we're doing. And I'm going to paste those commands, npm install, Tailwind, Postgres, auto prefixer, concurrency, and then in a Tailwind. So when I click enter, it's going to do its magic. And looking at the files here, what it's going to do is going to create this Tailwind config.js file. And what we want to do to configure it is we want to paste this in. And I am getting this information from Tailwind CSS website, which is awesome. So I'm going to go back to our code. Once it's done, we will see this Tailwind config file. So let's copy and paste our settings that we need for that initial project. So we're not quite done yet. There's a couple more steps that we have to take as well. So let's go back, look at our documentation. So next thing we want to do, we want to make these changes, install these commands into our scripts inside package.json file, because what we have to do, we want to be able to build our CSS, right? And so we need to run these commands. So let's go in our code and go to our package.json file. And we're going to replace what we originally had in the build, what we got from the documentation. So we don't need the comma there. All right. And what we're going to do next is let's take a look what else we need to do. We have a couple of more steps. So now what we want to do is set up our styles.css file. And this is where you would put your CSS files. But then we will run yarn develop, and it's going to create. Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's do one step at a time. So what I'm going to do in the root folder, I'm going to create .styles.app.css file, and I'm going to paste this inside. So let's go back in here. All right. Okay, so let's go to our, which file? Okay, we want to create it inside the root. So we're going to do new folder. We're going to call it styles. And inside our styles, we're going to create a new file, app.css. And again, we're just following straight up the example, and we're going to call the base Tailwind styles that we're going to need. So let's go back. Now we need to import our CSS. We are going to do it inside our app.root.jx file, and we want to import the compiled CSS that currently doesn't exist. And the way we would do it is we would run npm run develop to create that compiled CSS. So now if you look at app.styles.app.css, we don't have that, right? That doesn't exist. If you look here, look, there is no styles. This is outside of the folder, but inside the app, there is no styles. And this is going to be generated when we run yarn dev for us. But for us to be able to do it, we have to make sure that inside the app.root.jsx file, we import our styles here that we're about to generate in just a moment from styles app.css. And let's go ahead into our root folder. And right underneath this import, we're going to click enter. And let's turn this off here. And so finally, in theory, the last step we need to do is just run npm run dev or yarn dev. And we should, in theory, have our CSS set up. So let's look at how our project looks like now. So this is our project, the way it looks now. Let's see what happens when we go here. And we're going to run yarn dev. And probably stuff is gonna break, but we're gonna see if it doesn't. Maybe it will. Ah, nice, it didn't break. And I'm gonna show you here in just a second. You know you set everything up correctly because we are going to generate our styles inside our app folder. You're gonna see this new folder, styles, app.css. And if you take a look inside of it, it's going to have all of our CSS generated for us. That is pretty amazing. And you would run it every time you run the build command. And that's pretty awesome. So that's kind of set up. And so now we should be able to have access to using Tailwind attributes in our HTML. So let me close this down. Let's take a look at how our application looks like now. And as you could see, it resetted all the styles for us. And that's cool. So now we could get into some Tailwind. So what I'm going to do is let's quick search. Let's see what this container does. And this is cool because this allows us to explore CSS. So we could do container and we could do MX auto. Here's this example. So let's see what this does. I'm just gonna copy this so I could paste it to make it easier for us. So let's go inside our root, inside our routes, and we're going to go inside our index. And what I'm going to do just to test that this works, we should have, so right now, notice how this is right up against the edge. Container should give us some space. So let's check it out. So I'm gonna delete this because we don't need this, right? And we're going to do class name. And we're gonna paste our container MX auto. And sure enough, when we refresh, nothing happens, which is always exciting whenever things go wrong. So what we're going to do, we're going to check out why our CSS is not working. We could try another. Oh, okay, I see here. Interesting. Let me do this for now. Get some of this styling out. And this is our index.tsx. Let me just make sure that we getting the stuff here that we need. Oh, I'm on the post page. That's why I don't see the styles. That is so funny because we made the changes inside our index page. And sure enough, we see the styling here. This is fantastic. So we're going to continue, just give some basic styles. And I just want to show you a little cheat thing that I do. Because the coolest thing about Tailwind, there's so many other Tailwind templates that are out there. So you could literally copy some components and get the structure without having to add too much of your own CSS. And we're going to take a look at that in just a second. But first, let me go back into our post page. So in our posts, and we want to add those classes to here. Class name. And if you're just learning Tailwind, the coolest thing about Tailwind is that the documentation is pretty cool. And we could take a look at it together, of course. But let me just add this so we could kind of add some padding here, or I guess margin in our container here. And what's awesome with the power of Tailwind, look at that. We get those styles. We get the space here. And so now what we're going to do is we could style our links here, which is kind of interesting. We could actually create a link component because we might be using links in a bunch of places, and we could style it. And then wherever we pass the links, we'll be able to, you know, have the styling that we want. And I think like if you go back home here in index, they're already styling the styles here. What I'm going to do actually, instead of copying the styles always into the link component, what we could do is we could create a link component to which we want to style a certain way. So why not? Let's do that for fun. So we're going to create a new folder, components. And right now we're just going to copy and paste, like, you know, literally this. Components. Let's go. Let's create a new file. And what are we going to call it? just because we're already using link. I'm gonna call it my link. Why not? Whatever. And then I'm gonna paste that link. Import link. And then we're gonna pass some props here. To and children. This is going to take 2. And then inside here, we're going to pass our children. Very simple component. This way you just get the styling all throughout. And so let's go back to our routes inside our index TSX page. And what we're going to do, we're going to instead import my link. And let me just double check here. I think it's got to be from components, but I just want to hear, did we give it a name? Yep, we did. We did export default. So let's go back to here. And I believe this is going to be from components. My link. Ooh, my link. Fantastic. All right, so now we could like replace this with my link. And then we don't need this anymore. To prop is going to be the same. And then this all is going to work the same. So in theory, this should all work. All right, fantastic. All right, so what we're going to do next, we're going to go actually check it out how this looks. So as you can see, like we still get the styles. And if you want to change the styles inside our link component, it's going to change the styles everywhere we used it. I think it's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and make sure we add that link here so we could see what our links are. So it's a little bit more self-explanatory, and we could delete this. So let's go into our post.jsx and let's replace this with my link. So let's import my link from components, my link, and we could replace this with my link. Everything else is the same, and inside here we're going to replace with my link. Perfect. And everything should be styled. Fantastic. So we could go back home, we could go to a blog post, and then we could get our data. And so now what we could do is like, maybe we want to have 2 columns. So let's check out how to do that in Tailwind. And by the way, how's everybody doing today? Listen, I know it's Friday night. I know that everybody's out partying, but listen, I'm committed to doing these Friday night streams. And if you're not able to join live, that is perfectly fine because you could check it out the next day. But I have nothing to do on a Friday night, you know? So I'm going to code along and make these videos because I believe that coding in public is very important. Sharing what you're learning is super important. And also, the coolest thing about coding live is that you get to get stuck, break stuff, and try to figure things out. And I just want to show you the real reality of what it's like coding on your own. It's really this process of trying things out. If things break, if things don't work, it is perfectly fine, right? Because this is part of learning. It's all about trying so many things, failing so many times, so you could iterate on each process and each process. So anyway, let's figure out how to make 2 columns, you know, layout. Okay, let's see, columns. Layout, table layout. Let's see, install table. What are we columns? Like, oh, here we go. Grid columns. So they show you some examples. Let's see how to implement it. So this is what we got. Grid columns. We want 2 columns. And then how do you define the length of the column? So let's try this for now. So it's going to be grid columns 2, gap 4. I'm just going to copy this. So let's go back into our code. And again, we got Tailwind working, so that's kind of cool. So now it's just, you know, trying things out. So let's see here. We want to make the changes in our post here. Let me close this down a little bit. And so we have, I'm going to have this aside, and we have this section. And so we're going to add another div here for now. We're gonna kind of take this and put it inside that aside for now, because that's where we want it. And then we're going to move the aside and section into our div. And everything should still work. And we just want to put that class there, and we're going to make 2 columns. So inside here, class name equals grid. What was it? Grid col 2. And let's do gap 4. Let's see what happened. And nothing happened. Interesting. So I'm doing something wrong. Let's take a look. Take a look at Tailwind. That looks correct. Maybe I know what I did. I didn't put an S, but we want like 2 columns. And now, perfect. Like, so this looks a little bit better. We'll, you know, so now whenever we select anything on our right here, on the left, we see it change on the right. So maybe we want to make this a little bit nicer. Maybe we want to show like a preview of what the post is. And so here's one thing that I want to share with you is, you know, you could go to a place like ThemeForest. So you could see I already have this HTML template. But even if you didn't want to get it, if you wanted to get some ideas how people lay out the layout, you could like check out a preview. Like for instance, like I want to see like, how did they do this? And so you could inspect it, right? And you could take a look at, you know, oh, wait, here's that element. This is like what they do and how they structure it. So what I could do is I could literally go and copy, I think it's element, right? And now I could go ahead and try to create this component. So I'm going to go inside here. I'm going to call it card for now. Why not? New file, card.jsx. And the cool thing now, what I could do is I could paste it here. Wow, that's a lot of spaces. That's kind of insane. I'm too zoomed in. That's what's happening. And so we got to fix some stuff because I had an HTML template. So whenever you're copying something from HTML, number one, you want to make sure you change all the class names. So the easiest way to do it, click Control F and then replace by class name. Because that's what you want to do in React. Click this button. Now it replaces it in all of them. And then the other thing is the issue it's having is that your image tag needs to be closed like so. So go ahead and make sure you make all those changes in all the image tags. And so what's cool place, if you see someone using something a certain way inside, actually, we're going to delete these for now because we don't need them. Like you see something you like inside a website, you could literally take a look at HTML. And what I did, I literally copied the HTML to kind of see like what the structure was. You know, that's kind of cool that you could do that. And so what I'm doing is just kind of deleting some of these things that we don't need at the moment, because we want to just get the basic layout. And let me know how everybody's doing. Listen, Friday nights, people should be going out. I'm the only one who's not going out. It is what it is. So I'm just going to hang out here. But actually, one of the reasons why I do stream on Friday nights, even though I know it's not going to be that many viewers, because people have lives, is I just moved into a new apartment and I wanted to pick a time where I'm not going to really interrupt the neighbors. So a lot of people in my complex on Friday nights, they go out. And so for me, I figured it's a cool time to chill. And then I'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. US Central Time, talking about, like, if I were to learn to code again, what would I do? What would I do and how I would do it? But today I'm just chilling, listening to music. And what we're doing is we just copied, literally, I just went to this website. I'm like, I like how this looks. And I just copied this component because it already has Tailwind classes, because I want to get that basic layout. And because it was HTML and we're working in React, I'm just going to make some changes here. And I'm going to delete a bunch of stuff. Actually, let me zoom out to make it a little bit easier. So first of all, I don't need this link tag. We're going to remove it. What else we need? Make sure, like I was saying, all the image tags need to be closed. So I think it's pretty good. I think we made the difference. Perfect. So we didn't add anything or any information that we want, but we got the general structure of the HTML. So let's just check it out if it works. So what I want to do for inside our, let's see here, card. We want to go inside posts. And so instead of links, what I want to do, I want to show these cards, which will have the image of the preview of what it is. And for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to comment this out. Actually, I'm going to comment. Yeah, why not comment this out? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go inside the li here for now, and I'm going to import my my card component that we just created. We're not going to pass anything in. We just want to see what it looks like, and we're going to import. We don't need this here. We're going to import card. Import card from component card link. We don't need at the moment. We're going to figure that out later, because we're using my link. So let's see what that looks like, just out of curiosity. Nice. And so now we have, let's a little zoomed in. Let me zoom out and we'll fix this. So we now kind of have that card. And what's cool, like, yeah, it doesn't look exactly like we want, but the coolest thing is, like, I just showed you this way. Like, if you're learning HTML, CSS, you're trying to figure things out. I went to, like, Theme Forest. I found, like, this cool, like, theme that I liked. I clicked live preview. You know, I saw, like, oh, like, this card kind of looks kind of cool. We went inside here. And what I literally did is I just kind of, you know, selected what the HTML structure of it is, was like, and I literally copied the element, and then I used it to create my component. And this is like a cool way if you're starting out or you see something cool you like. And did it bring us all the way? No, it did not. But the coolest thing is that it brought us part of the way. And so this is awesome. So as you could see, we have this layout. So what I'm going to do, just to clear things up, I'm going to remove this for now. We're going to deal with this later. So let's see here. Let's go back to our, wherever we card. And so what I'm going to do for now, I believe it's, which one? This is item center. Which one is this? I'm going to remove. I think I'm going to, this is the one that I removed. Let's see what it looks like now. Perfect. And look, this looks nice. And so now what we want to do is pass our title, our description, our image, and we could add a tag here of some sort, which we'll do in just a minute. But for now, let's kind of add some basic stuff here and then make these clickable, which we'll do in just a second. And the way we could make it clickable, let's turn it into a link or wrap it with our link. All right, so here we go. Let's make those. Let's first get data here. So what do we need here? We don't have tags yet, right? But we know we're gonna have tag. We'll just start with one for now. So we know that we want to pass tag. Then we want to pass title, description, image, and link. That's perfect. So that's going to be tag. This is going to be title here. And we're going to do a different link here in just a second. But we're going to do H2. Actually, let me back up here for now. I'm going to turn it into, H2. So you keep the styling. We don't need href right now. And then this is going to be our title. And here is going to be our description. And then I think things are going to break. And the reason they're going to break is because tag is not defined. Title is not defined. So it's going to give us issues. So sometimes what you could do is you could, add little placeholders. And I'm just doing this right now. Like if people don't provide anything, no tag provided. No title provided. You could also not like this, it's just quotes, right? And so if like people don't provide anything, what the hell is this doing? Let me make this more clear by putting it to another line here. So tag, then we have title, just so it's more readable, description. What's up, Luke? What's up, Northern Chimp? Yeah, I'm just chilling here all by my lonely self. Because you know what? Like, how do you stay out of trouble? You stay home on a Friday night. You don't go out. But what we did is we got Tailwind set up with Remix. And we're just chilling here. And I just showed like a way to, like, if you find like a website you like for instance, like I really like this website here from ThemeForest. You don't even have to buy it, even though I did buy this template. You can go click live preview and it'll show you like the preview of the sites. You could click, I'm like, oh, like this card looked interesting. And so what I did, I literally used this arrow, highlight it, and I did copy the whole component. And then I moved it into my code, right? And I just copied and pasted it here. I changed some of the things. So this way you could get general layout of what you want if you're just starting out and you kind of like, oh, I'm not sure how to do this. How do you structure your HTML? And because I use the Tailwind template, and we're using Tailwind in our project, these classes that they used in the website I just showed you is going to work for me, which is super awesome. So for now, what we're doing is we had our props that we passed, but I showed you that if we didn't provide some sort of fallback, our app was crashing. So I'm just doing, and there's a better way of doing this, but for now, I just want to handle it this way. No description provided. Image, we're gonna handle it differently right now. I'm just gonna say it's blank, whatever. Link, I'm gonna say it's blank, whatever right now. But what's gonna happen now is that you'll see that, and we're not using them yet, we'll come back to it later. It's that when we refresh, our application doesn't work. It just says no tag provided, no title provided, no description provided. So let's handle that to make sure that we are able to get the data that we already have access here. So let's go to our posts page. And let's see here. What are we getting? Let's console.log post. What does that look like? Console.log post. Inspect. And So we get the attributes, we get our content, we get our image, and our image has the title, a slug, published at. You know what? Like, content is going to be like the whole article, but I want to be able to show the description of what the article is going to be. And the cool thing is, because I created the API with Strapi, I'm able to actually go ahead and add that like super easily. So here I am. This is where we're getting the data. I could go to my content builder on our posts. And so we have title, content, slug. But you know what I want? I want to have description. So I'm going to click here, type description, and then long text, finish. So I just added that to my model. I save. And so now when we go back to our posts in our content manager, now we have our description box. This will be the description for post 1. I don't know what post it is. I'm just going to do this for now just to make sure that we're getting it. And this is why I love Strapi, because like literally, if you remember, we set all of this up like 5 minutes. It literally took us 5 minutes to do. It was pretty easy. And I like it because like now I have like a cool API that I could connect to, no problem, you know, and I could now focus more on learning the front end portion of Remix and not really worrying too much right now about its back end functionality, you know. And if using something like Strapi to manage data literally allows you super fast to create full stack applications without like trying to like too much crazy stuff. So let's refresh. Let's see if we're getting that data. So now you see we have our description here that we just added in our content types. So on our preview, we want to show the image, we want to show the title, description, and we want to be able to link to our post. What's cool is like, does the link have to be inside the card? Does it, you know? So what we could do here, we could use our link here that we're already using. I just want to try it out. And I say try it out because, and then put our card there. And, oh shoot. Here we go. I don't know how copy and paste works. I think this will be fine. And so we don't even have to pass the link inside the card. But for now, fantastic. And so now when I click on this, this kind of showcases, see how it changes the post that we're clicking on. Oh, so that's working. The link works. The styling's a little bit weird, but we'll fix it in just a moment. And if you don't want that styling, we could use the link, just the regular link that they had here. From here, it's fine. Because my link is our custom link that has specific styles that we wanted. Refresh. And so this is fine. Perfect. So now we are able to click on our posts and notice how the information on the right is changing. And we'll style that in a second. So let's go and get the title and the description. So we're getting our posts. Let me go back to card now because our card doesn't really care about the link. So we could get rid of this one here. We don't need that prop, but image we want. And what we want to do is go back here to our posts. I have too many things open. And so we want to pass title equals title. I can't spell. And then we have our description. That's the structured from our object. And then title description equals description. And then what else do we need? We need image here. That will pass in just a second, but let's just check. Let's check our work every few minutes to make sure that everything is going well. I hope everybody's doing great. Oh, perfect. Look, we have our first post. This is our description. And what's awesome, because we're using Strapi as our backend to power this remix, I could literally change the data on the fly. So here's our, and if you missed the beginning of what and how we set this project up, this is, what the hell is remix? Learn in Public stream, you could check out all the prior videos that we have, but we have our posts here, right? And so like, you know, here's our description. Which one is this? This is first post. This post is really cool, right? Save it. Then let's go to our next second post. Not as cool as the first post. Save. And I like it like with Strapi, like, because I want to focus just more on the front end. Strapi really allows you to create like this like really easy API where we're able to get the data. This is the third post and save. And now when we go back to our Remix app, refresh, notice like this post is really cool. No, it should be not as cool as the first post. Pretty awesome. And so like, let's now, we actually want to have tags, right? It's like, we want to be able to add a tag. And so we're just going to do a simple way. There's a better way of handling tags, but we're going to do it the easiest way at the moment. And not like the other way is easier too. We could create a collection type called tags. So that way you could tag add whatever tags you want. Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it the long way, the right way. Create new collection type. We're going to say it's going to be tags, tag, continue. And a tag will have a name. And then short tags at another field. And then the tag is going to have a relationship, because a post could have, just to keep it easy, we're going to make a post is only allowed to have one tag, because I'm feeling lazy today and I don't feel like creating an array of tags and then mapping to them. So for now, we're just going to make a one-to-one relationship. So our post could have one tag. Maybe actually like a tag. What is it, like tags and whatever? We're going to call it a tag for now. So I finish just to show you how it works. Save. And then what I'm going to create is I'm going to create a couple of tags. So go to Content Manager. Let's create a tag. Create a new entry. This one's going to call JavaScript. And save, publish. Let's create just another tag for fun. Create a new tag, and this is going to call the remix, whatever. And we'll eventually change it to have a post have multiple tags, but for now, it's not the most important part here. So save and publish. So now we have our two tags. Fantastic. And now in posts, we could go ahead and select the tags that we want, right? Pretty simple and straightforward. Let's give a tag to our second post. Save. And then go to another, whatever. Select JavaScript, save. And let's see if we're going to get the tags inside when we call the data that we just added. So like refresh, let's take a look at our object. And so we look at attributes and we don't see tags because by default, hey, what's up, Engine Boy? How you doing? Man, if you didn't see the stream with Engine Boy's project that he did, the bug tracker, oh my God, that was like off the hook. But yeah, he did an amazing project, like really good job. So now basically, you know, when you're using Strapi, you need to provide access to the things that you want. So I just have to go to Content Manager here, go to Settings, go to Roles, and we want it public because we don't really care like if people find tags or not. We're going to do find and find one and save. So this allows us to give access to our API to retrieve that data. And then now when we go back, refresh, check it out. Boom. And now you see our tag here. Fantastic. And right now, this looks like fairly nested data attributes. There's a plugin we could use in Strapi that will flatten our response, but I'm not going to really worry too much about it. But let's go and populate these tags. So we got description, tags, tag. What was it, tag or tags? I don't remember. This is ridiculous. Tag. Yeah. Yep, Northern Chimp says, yeah, respect. I'm assuming it's about Engine's Boys project. But anyway, let's go back here. So we want tag, and we have data, attributes, name. Tag, cons. And we'll clean this up later. Like a lot of times when I code, I do it in a way... Actually, can you rename it like this? Test. I'm actually curious. So now this is going to be test dot. Oops. What am I doing? What am I doing? What buttons am I clicking? Clicking too many buttons. Test dot. Was it data dot? My God, my keyboard, the enter button is in the weirdest place ever. I'm going to blame the keyboard and not the user. Attributes. And then this is going to be tag. Wait, no, we have name. I don't even need to rename this because it's not even called tag. It's called name, but that would work. It's fantastic. And then we want the name. I'm assuming, let's console log name, see if it even works, that I'm not completely crazy. Refresh. Interesting. How's everybody doing this amazing Friday night, by the way? I wasn't able to install React, Markdown, and Remix. It shows errors. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. We will get to that at some point to be able to take our Markdown and be able to generate JSX with it. So I'll look into that, but it's going to be in like a next tutorial. Is this? The hell is this? What the hell is this, right? Proper comments, everyone. It's very important. So let's take a look. I'm going to here, refresh. Why is the console log not showing? That's so silly. So silly. Where am I? Console log. So this is the link. Post. I'm kind of... let's see here. Yeah, that's baffling that the console log is not working. And it will not be on the server. That would be too weird. That's something different. I'm not gonna worry too much. I'm just gonna assume that that works. Let's do tag. And that's going to be name of the tag. We'll figure it out if it works or not in just a second. Let's go back to our card component. And so tag, we're getting the tag. So that's running. This is running. Let me do this. When in doubt, restart the application. Yarn dev. So there was an issue. That's why I was complaining. Import my link from, and that's in routes post.jsx. Look at that. I can't spell components. Now that should fix the error. Now those console logs should work perfectly fine. And so let's take a look here. Refresh. Okay, so let me go back here for a second. All right, so let's go back here. I must be messing up. Where am I? This is fine. Let's go. I have too many things open. PostJSX. Let me just kind of do this and not provide anything here. Just make sure that, yep, so that's fine. That was the issue. So let's console log tag. Make sure that we're getting the right thing. The logs in the terminal, by the way, is coming from console log that I have somewhere. Where there's a console log somewhere that's console logging in the terminal, but that's not from where we were going. It might be like from here, slug. Yeah, so this is coming from, actually I'm curious now because I don't have the console log. Normally the loader function is the one that runs on the server, but that's fine. Content, yep. This is fine. We don't need to worry about this yet. So I could delete this so it doesn't bother me. This, we don't have to worry about it. Let's go back here. Okay, so it's undefined. So tag is undefined. Okay, I deleted post too early then. Let's go back to, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Post.js. Okay, so the reason why, I'll show you why it's not working. So let's kind of check out what this is returning to us. Let's go to Insomnia, and what you'll see that we're actually not getting that data that we think we're getting. And I'll show you why. So Insomnia here, let's do send. So notice we don't have the tag, right? It's a relationship that we need to pass. We're not getting any of those relationships. So what we could do is we have this populate flag that we could pass, which is kind of cool because it allows you to like signify what relationship you want. If I do tag, notice that now we're getting our tag, or we could populate everything by doing the star. So we'll do that to kind of keep it easy. So now when I click send, we get the image, and we also, if we scroll down, we're getting the tag. So that's cool. Nice. And so that's nice. So what I need to do here is just add that populate with the star. So now we're going to have that access to that tag. And that makes sense why it wasn't working. Yeah, by the way, if anyone has questions, we're getting more views. And if you haven't smashed the like button, you don't have to. You know, unless you want to for your personal self, or your friends in the chat, definitely then you could do that. But now we should have access. If we look here, see we have our tag, data attribute, name. And so that's fantastic. Tag dot data dot attributes dot name, and we should see our tag. Refresh because I can't, oh, misspelled something. Tag data attributes. Yeah, my biggest issue is the constant misspelling. So attributes. And then inside that would be name. Oh, I know why the issue is. I'll show you in just a second. Mostly it's the spelling. Internal error in posts. What would this do? I'm just curious. Oh, I know why that name, because I think what's happening in one of the places inside our API, we didn't pass a tag, so we're getting a null from the database, and so that's what's crashing it. And so if we reset here, yeah, so if you do this, basically, if it doesn't have anything, it'll return, what does it return? Let's take a look here. Probably, yeah, it'll return undefined. So the issue was, and this is a cool way to do a check in line. So for instance, we were expecting data to have attributes and name, but if we return null and we didn't do a check, then it was like complaining, right? It was like, what the hell are you doing? There's no attributes and no name. So you could use the question mark to kind of check that. So that's kind of awesome. So let's kind of get this tag out. Const name. See, I'm actually curious if this is going to work or if name is going to be undefined. But let's console log name. I'm kind of curious now because I never tried it this way. Ah, yeah, that's kind of interesting. So that's kind of stupid. This would be like, this is not going to be like the cleanest way of doing it, but we're just gonna figure this out. So what I'm gonna try to think like will be like the, it's probably not going to be the cleanest solution at the moment, but we'll figure out later. So if no data, blah, blah, blah. Like I could just set it because you can't destructure if there's, actually, hold on a second. I'm kind of curious. So if that exists, return that, I'll return, I think this should fix it. So console log name. I guess that's one way to go about it. Nice. Actually, let me make this. We'll take a look. Is it still broken? No, it's not broken. So, but we are getting undefined 3 times. So maybe that's not the best way to take attributes name, huh? So let's see. Why? And this is why I love like coding live, because you get to explore things and try things out. And what's awesome, oh, by the way, thanks, Luke. Yeah, I did like a Strapi community call and I was worried about it, but it went pretty well. Says it was super well done. Thank you so much. So name equals engine const name equals yeah, let me try that. That's curious. I'm just going to copy and paste what Engine Boy put. I just want to see. What the hell is that complaining about? That makes a const data attributes. Oh, what is it complaining about now? Name tag. The character isn't visible. That was the weirdest like thing. So I see. So basically, set it to nothing. So this could be like, huh. And then if we have something, show it. Reading name is still undefined. That's interesting. We're playing around. We'll figure it out. Hey, why is this not working? So that fixed it. Here. So we get here. That makes no sense. Like what you had before should work. Maybe we could do like something like this. So basically, if that thing exists, return that. Otherwise, it'll be undefined. And then I'll just return hey. I'm just guessing. No. We're going to explore it. We're going to figure it out. So we do have to return something. So. But then then this should work. That's like interesting. Interesting. So that's undefined 3 times. Tag blank. Yeah, we're just gonna do no tag provided for now. Let's see what happens. And then we could just pass that. And again, like the coolest thing here is like when you code, like it doesn't have to be perfect. It's fine to make mistakes. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's a good one. So hold on a second. I like that. Attributes dot name, and then we could delete that. See, I love the fact that you have people in the chat, and I knew Engine Boy would be like, hey, I'm gonna help out. We're gonna work on this together. So that doesn't work. Let's see, did I do that right? Attributes that name. Yeah, so tag that data attributes, but whatever. So, and this is why I love it. Like you just try stuff out. This is like a lot of people like, oh, Paul, you make a lot of mistakes. You get stuck. You like doing weird stuff. Like, yeah, but guess what? I am coding, and the things that I'm learning now through trial and error are the things that I'm going to remember, which is fantastic. So we're going to keep it like this for now until we figure out a better solution. So my thought process is get things to work and then refactor. Does it have to be perfect? No, just try stuff out. So now tag name should work. So we go here, refresh. So no tag provided, no tag provided. So that's not what we want either, because now it just says no tag provided for all of them. But we know we have tags. So one way to handle it is, and this is not like, it's not the best way. We'll figure out like a better way. You know what? I'm going to move, because we could do all this check within the card. So what we could do, let's do that for now. Like, you know what? We're going to do it like this. We're going to, this is fine too. Why not? Let's try a different approach. Let's try that. Why not? Like it's kind of cool. So we're going to have a card. And it's going to take the data. And then we could check. No, you know what? No, screw this. We're going to keep it this way, and we're going to figure out. So so the idea is we have to like check the data somewhere. Do we want to check it since we're looping through it here, and we want to be able to reuse the card in other places where we want people, when they look at this, they're able to tell, okay, it takes title, it takes description, and it takes a tag. If we just pass data, it could be like anything. So I think like keeping it this way is fine. So what we'll do is we'll figure out the check here. So what I want to do here is kind of come back here. And instead of doing like this, I'm going to just, for now, come back to the beginning here. Console log. I mean, the easiest way would be, I'll show you the easiest solution. I'm going to first do it this way, and then I'll show you the easiest solution here. Which is you basically, in our back end, you make, let me just gonna do here. I want to see tags, save, confirm. Okay, posts. So here, if I don't want to break things for now, right, I could just make sure that tag this is always required, but that's not like a good way. So like that would fix it, but we're not going to do that because we should do a check. And so let's kind of come back to step 1. Okay, we need this. Take this away so things don't crash. Okay, so here we go. So data, no, so you could do like this check here. If tag that data is equal to null. Let's see, that makes no sense. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing right now. We don't want to return null. I wonder if you could do. No, see, that'd be dumb. So we would have to move like the easiest way would be is to do it this way. I'll show you. It's fine. It's like this: is we pass the tag as it is. Oh, god damn it! Where are we tag? Yeah, pass the tag this way, and I'll have to think about it more. But for now, we just go inside the card, right? And so we're getting the tag. We could console log the tag to see that we have it. Console log tag, right? And then here we could do, where's our tag here? We could do, I believe it's going to be tag.data is tag.data attributes, or just, I'm actually going to do, if there's no tag, just don't provide anything. That would make more sense, right? So if tag exists, and then we could do tag data attributes that name. So this is like one way of doing it. That should work. Maybe not. And so, yeah, perfectly. So if there is a tag, yeah, like we could try that. For now, I'm just going to keep it this way because it works for the, just to keep it simple. So we have our remix JavaScript. There's no tag. It's not going to show anything. And we'll have to think about it more. But the point is, like, as you could see, like, I'm not trying to get bogged down and overthink things too much. I just want to keep moving forward and get stuff working. So now let's make sure that we're able to get our image. And what I'll do, I'll probably move everything inside the card and check the logic here instead of having it where we were inside like the loop here. And so let's see, we have tag. We want to pass our image. And then I'm going to do image. Then go back to our card. Let's console log our image to see what the hell that looks like. So we have data that attribute dot attributes dot URL. So data attributes dot URL. That's perfect. So we could do const image URL equals image data that attributes dot URL, and then now we could replace this here, and then we could do all the additional checks later. Like if there's no image, for now we just kind of get stuff working. You know what I'm saying? This is the most important part. So here we are. That doesn't work. Image No, that's not image. Let me consolidate image again. So image data attributes. Image. No, I already have console. What am I doing? I'm like so tired. But we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. You know what it is? We're just going to get stuff done. Tell me what you are all working on and building. I'd love to hear about it. The most important part is making sure that you're working and always... Actually, here's a question I have. I know we have few of you in the chat. Let me know, what do you think is better, quality or quantity? I want to have this. I think this is like an interesting discussion. I want to hear what you are going to say. And then URL should work. Yeah. So you could destructure your, wait a second. Image data attributes. That is so interesting that this didn't work. You got to be kidding me. That's so tricky. URL. Quality. I know it's not that many people in the chat. Some people say quality. Some people say... I'm a big believer of quantity. Maybe it's like a trick question. Oh, I'm an idiot. I know why this doesn't work. So look at that. We did everything right. Look at the URL. Because we're getting our data from Strapi. This is the URL we're getting, but we're not getting the initial local host. And right now I'm going to hard code it because it's get it to work, then refactor. That's how I go. So like quality is interesting and quantity is interesting. And it really depends like how you view it. Like for me, it's always been quantity, because what I feel is the more stuff you try to build, the more you will fail. So your process of learning is faster because you're messing up all the time and you just care about just knocking stuff out. Where sometimes you think about quality, you spend way too much time and you might not iterate as quickly. So for me, I'm always like, you could see me, I'm just trying random stuff, like not even caring how it's going to be. And like, I'm making more mistakes faster. And I'm able to iterate on the process, but I think it really becomes like a definition what quality means to you and what quantity means to you. And for me, it's like the more I fail faster, the faster I get better. And like even like in this example, I was able to spot my mistake here. Not mistake, but kind of figure out like, why isn't this working? So this should not work either. I'm kind of curious now why that doesn't work. But you know, you just keep going and okay, I bet it's like double dash there. Yep. So we don't need this here. And so, and the cool thing is like the more mistakes you make, the faster you'll be able to solve them. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, see, we got it, Engine Boy. I should look first, see what Engine Boy says. But this is awesome. So that should work. Refresh. Oh, you son of a gun. What are you telling me here? Yeah, quality has to be quality of something. I think like, I guess like to me, it's like do more stuff faster, fail quicker. But the caveat here is when you do things, try to do it better than the last time you did that thing. So you're always looking for that improvement of like constantly like focusing on improving like what you're doing, even if it's by 1%. Yeah, this is like interesting why that's not working. Let me see here. Let me go here. What am I doing here? Hold on a second. What was the URL? Oh, no, it's exactly the same reason. So I keep, like, I should know this. So our API, this idea of getting the, wait, we are getting the images, are we? Hold on, let's check our response. We are getting it, so. When in doubt, check it out here. So we are getting the data. Oh, why 3000? Do I have? Oh, I'm an idiot. Thanks. You could tell I need more. I'm like so tired today. That was the mistake. It's because we're trying to get our image from the back end. At least one of us is paying attention. Really appreciate you, Engine Boy. And yeah, like this is like why I like coding like publicly. Like give a chance for me to learn from you and vice versa. And now I'm like really confused. What does this say? Maybe I need sleep. Maybe that's like what I need is to sleep. So console log. Uploads this. So that's something weird happening. Yeah. Well, we're gonna figure it out. I think I'm like too tired. And I'm like, what is going on? But it should be no different, by the way, what we're already doing. So let's take a look inside our posts, not card, inside our slug here. Oh, I'm an idiot. So we're running actually. So I think I have, again, 2 instances of Strapi open and I'm confusing myself. So we actually should be on localhost 1338. And that's why that wasn't working for us. This is like, it's funny, like, it's like, hold on a second. Let me just do this. Like you could tell, like I work with Strapi a lot because I have a bunch of different instances running at the same time. So if you look at here, it's 1338. And that's like what we need, you know, and that's the common mistake I made before. So that's an easy fix. Yeah, I'll take a break in a little bit. I just want to let's just get a little bit farther. We're almost done. Then I'm definitely going to take a break, make some music, play some music, you know, for, not on live stream yet. Like I got to work on that. I got to practice more before I play some streams, live stream some of the music that I make. So here, this is going to be 38. And again, like what I want to do is like, you know, get the basic functionality done before we kind of get out of control here. Perfect. Nice. And we have that. So that works, you know, and now we're able to see all the different things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just change the images a little bit. Just so they're better. Just so it's easier to kittens for us to tab, open link in tab, open link in new tab. Let's download. Let's add those images to our posts. It's like when I left Strapi, like I'm like so easy like to set up a backend that you're just able to be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna replace this. Let's go to downloads. That's interesting. Oh, cause yeah, you gotta add those media library, add new assets, browse files. Here we go. Let's get all of these bad boys in. Upload 3 assets. And now I'm gonna go back to my content manager and replace him. Delete, add this cat, finish, save, go to posts. Let's go here, delete, add a different image, this cat, finish, save, and then let's go to post. Let's go here and let's replace this kitten here, finish, save. So now it's a little bit like makes more sense. So I think we're good, looking good here. Nice. And so let's go back here, refresh, and perfect. Now we have our kitty cats, we have a different post, and so now we have like this layout where, you know, when you go to our blog post page, you see on the left the cards that say the title and the description, and then when you click on it, because we're doing nested routing, we're able to see our posts here. And so the next step, we're going to style, not during this stream, but next stream, we're going to style this right side, make it a little bit better. And what we're going to do is actually get a markdown editor, which to answer Engine Boy's question, you know, React Markdown is not working with Remix. So we'll take a look at it. We'll figure it out what is happening. But what I'm going to do is for next stream, that's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on styling this section a little bit better where we get the blog post details. But this is awesome. This works. Nice. I'm pretty proud of it. Yeah, like a little bit like slower work here, but it's fine because this is how a lot of the live coding happens when you're coding on your own. It's like you get stuck, you run into issues, you try to figure out what's going on. So like to do a quick review of what we've done before I commit the code. So the first thing we did is we set up Tailwind working with with Remix. What am I saying? With Remix. So that's fantastic. So now we have access to Tailwind. Then I showed you my little trick of like, if you find a website where you like a component, like for instance, I took a look here, and because this is a Tailwind website, you know, the general layout is using the underlying Tailwind classes. So what I was able to do is I was able to, you know, inspect the element, like find the card that I want, right? And just like copy this code. And then what I did in Remix, I created in our code, I created a new component card, and then I copied and pasted that code, modified it, and notice how now I have this functionality for my card, and I bet it's might be like already responsive. Yeah, see this is perfect. Nice. Like this is awesome. And so that works great. And then we have our posts. We could make this responsive, so if we shrink too much, we do it later. But perfect. We got Tailwind working. We got displaying the data from our Strapi API, so we don't have to worry about doing anything custom. It's super fantastic. Like if I wanted to, you know, add another post, it's super easy to do. That's a cute, oh my gosh, so cute. File download. So if I want to go and add another post, this is super easy for me. I go to Content Manager. Let me add another tag, create new entry. I'm going to say cuteness. I think that's how you spell it. That's got to be a category that we have, right? And then we go back, make sure I publish it. And the changes, we go to post. Let's create another post. This is so cute. Cutest cat ever. Yep. And then description, OMG, so cute. Right. And look how easy it is for me to add data to test out, you know, the API, like it's set up. It's so cool. Like I don't have to mess around with it. And so now I'm able to like work and develop my front end against actual data. I don't have to like mess around or do something. Let's add a tag, cuteness, save. And now when we go to our app, refresh. Oh, I didn't publish it. Always forget to publish. And now let's publish. Like, check this out. Boom. Look at that. And we got our data. We got our cuteness.
this is fantastic. We're making progress. And here's the thing, like, what I wanted to say is that the most, listen, pickle juice, I'm so tired. Cuteness is spelled FYI. Thank you. And I'm not gonna cutness. It's cuteness. Cute. I spelled it. This is spelled right. Did I spelled it? Where did I spell it wrong? I spelled it in the post. Cuteness. Whatever. I'm like so tired, but whatever. Yes, spelling. We'll figure it out. But anyway, we're making progress. We're doing so good. That's a beautiful kitten. And so let me know if you have any questions, check out. But today at least we added Tailwind, which we did the first 10 minutes. Our applications are making progress. I think this is fantastic. By the way, if I wanted to make this layout on the right work better and use the cheating method that I like to do. So for instance, we have this website that we were looking at. We were like, oh, this is kind of cool. Right. And so they have like a blog example here. So I could go here and I could be like, oh, this is cool. Maybe I want this to be styled this way. So I could inspect it like such a cheater. We could probably like do this. And so we have this card. They call it a let's copy element. I'm actually going to do this because I'm curious now. My cat's tail right there in my face. I'll go to sleep in a second. I just want to try this out. Why not? Because it'll be cool. And so now I could go back to my app. Oh, watch out, kitten. Watch out. And then let's create a new component, a new file. We're going to call it post.jsx. All right. Thanks, Kitty, for sitting on the post.jsx. As you can see, I could like code and literally not stop, like keep going and going and going, like regardless, like, oh, people watching, great. People not watching, great. And so I'm just gonna copy and paste this. And so because we copied from the HTML, we want to change all the class names. We want to make sure that the image tags have closing, everything else kind of, I think, like avatar image, which we'll do later. This is great. Shift all F. Okay, nice. Look, I finished my post component by cheating. So let's go to our... the hell am I going? Let's go to pages. I mean routes, I should say. Go to our posts, slug. So here's where we're getting here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep the top part in there, right? But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import what the hell it was called. Was it called? Did I call it post? I don't remember. Did I call it post? What the hell did I call it? Component. Call it post. Yeah. So import. I don't know why I got that imported. We don't need it. Import post from components posts. Refresh. And sure enough, something is breaking. I'm not surprised though. And then what's breaking? Post is not defined. Well, you tell me post is not defined. Post from content. Did I not export it? Export default post. We go here. Oh, I bet it's more nesting. It's like here. Yeah, that's why. Now it's defined. Refresh. Look at this beauty. Look at that. Look at that. We have that styling. Look at that. We cheated. And now we could just add our data. Let's at least like populate the image and maybe later. Wow, this is amazing. Like all the tricks. This is what I'm telling you. Tailwind is amazing. Like for exactly that reason. Notice how like I don't have to waste my time with layout. And I bought that theme, by the way. But the fact that they're using Tailwind and I could literally look at the HTML and copy it, like we used for the, what the hell did I put? Whatever, somewhere. The blog, and be like, oh, this is what it looks like. Cool. Like I'm going to use this structure. How does it look like? Inspect element. And this is like a good way to kind of learn, like proper way to practice HTML layout if you're still learning like front end. And because you're using Tailwind, you're getting all the initial styling out of the box, which is fantastic. And then you could add custom styles over that. And notice how now we have this amazing thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that image that we have. So what do we have here? Image URL, let's call it image. And then we're going to pass image URL. Like, look at that. Now, let's go into our post, go to definition. Look at how easy it is. And you do this. We want to get, oh my God, we want image. Image. And then what we're going to do here. And for now, for the avatar, I'm going to put image as well. I mean, look at like how amazing it is. I got that HTML layout like without even sleeping. And look at that. Again, we have issues. What's the issue? Console log image. I probably called it something else. No big deal though. It's funny, like, oh, same mistake as before. And right now we're just gonna hard code it, but it's no big deal. Where would we have it? Posts. Eventually I'm gonna put it into like env variables. I just wanna get it to work. And what's cool, like we're gonna get like the general layout done, and it's gonna look nice and pretty because we're using Tailwind. And so let's go to our, no, we want to go not here. We want to go to our post, not here. We want to go to our post. No. Here, our post component. And here we're going to do something like this. And then we'll fix it. And again, people like, Paul, you should fix it now. No, I wanted everything to work. Like, make it work, then refactor. And then let's remove our image that we had before. And this is what I'm telling you, like, I'm kind of showing you how I do this. Is this the best way and the right way? No, but it allows me to continue moving and not get stuck on the minor details. Get it to work, then refactor your code. Get it to work, then refactor your code. That's at least my motto for what I'm doing and working here. So let me close some of these places that we don't need. And then we have to go here. So we could delete this. And then here we're going to pass title. We don't really need slug at this point. And then the rest of the stuff we'll add later, but I just want to set it up as the placeholder. This is going to be title. And then let's pass it here. And then we have content. Oh, Jesus Christ. I would say just Tailwind, and we're kind of showing like an example why Tailwind is awesome. So I'll show you that in just a second. Let me just finish this here. I'm just gonna put our initial content here, and we'll refactor this later. Make sure that this works, and something doesn't work. I wonder if it's the content doesn't work. Did I not pass content? Content. Hold on a second. Yeah, so what I was saying to ask MV, yep, that name. So what I'd say, Tailwind is awesome because like right now, like I don't want to worry about like too much about my design. And so you could buy a theme, you could throw it in here. Or what I showed you another way. And by the way, I purchased this theme. Like I do own this theme. Like if you look, like here, see, like I do have this theme I purchased, but I'm showing you, let's say you want to get some ideas of how to structure your content. And if your project is using Tailwind, you could look on ThemeForest, look up some other websites. Like here I found, you go to live preview and then you kind of like, oh, I kind of like, and you'll just see it in a second how this looks like. And I get to here, I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool layout. And you could go inspect, click here, select like the elements that you want, and you could literally copy elements. And because you're using Tailwind, whenever we created here like a React component here, I pasted the code, I made some changes, but because I'm using Tailwind and because that theme uses Tailwind, if you look at my app now, you could see that the layout is pretty much similar. And so now I'm able to kind of change stuff. So this is fantastic. Like we're making a lot of progress. What I want to do though is I want to figure out maybe not have this half and half. So I want to figure out how to in Tailwind change the size of column where this is a little bit shorter and this is a little bit wider. So let's go back to, and that'll be like our final change. The rest we'll do it next stream. But for now, like this is what we're going to do. By the way, I see a lot more people like joining in on a Friday a little bit later. Maybe 8 p.m. is too early. Maybe I should do the like 8 p.m. US Central Time. Maybe I should do it 9 p.m. Central Time. Let me know in the comments. I mean, Fridays, I know no one's going to show up because Friday night is like party night for a lot of people. So I'm not worried about that. But what I want to do now is go here and figure out, well, how do you decide the column size in Tailwind? And then what I love, grid column start, column below, column reverse, column end, flex column reverse, call span, start end. I want, there's got to be like a simpler way. Column width. And whenever something fails, just go to Google and do how to define call width in Tailwind. Get template columns, Tailwind, grid template columns. If you were looking at this, oh yeah, here we go. Column 1, column 2, properties. There's got to be a way to define width if you wanted to column width. Set a max width. Yeah, I think that would be fine here. Oh, here we go. So let's say the last column we want auto. Let's do this. Let me start my music back up. Yep. So, and again, I'm not worried about like getting everything right now. I'm more worried about getting the general idea. And again, for me, it's get it working and then refactor. And we should be here. No, not here. Slug we don't need. Oh, I deleted too much. We're here in posts. Nope, we're in. Yeah, we're here. So this aside, we want class name to be column small. And then we want this to be class name. I'm still learning like Tailwind. I actually like cheat with Tailwind. Like I just buy like a theme. It makes it easier. But Tailwind is pretty awesome. It allows you not to worry about your CSS too much. And they have like really good documentation. And so actually let's see, am I using this? Yep, columns. I don't think I'm using that right. Columns. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing that right. So let's read more. So columns. Let's go back to Google. Define call with in Tailwind. All right. This makes sense here. So I think we should do, let's go here. I got an idea. So we go here, grid columns, we'll do 3. And then we want the first column to span 1 and the other one span 2. So column span 1. I think that's going to work. And this is going to be column span 2. So basically we have a grid with 3 columns. First column span 1, the other one spans 2. So that should give us a better layout here. Yeah, perfect. So this is what I was going for. So notice how, and we could change this later, but on the left side, we have our cards. When you click the card, it's going to change the layout. And we could kind of like make this better. Maybe we could put a back button inside the actual post. No, actually, we'll figure that out later. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it inside the actual post, or actually I'm going to move it on the bottom for now, like just not to mess with it. And then we'll refactor here. We'll put it, I want to, yeah, we'll put it here. Yeah, we'll fix it later. Yeah, so this is fine. And so look at this, our layout is starting not to look as crazy and not as ugly. And so I think we made a lot of good progress. The most important thing I take away from the stream is, and if you missed it, you could always rewatch it. Again, there's 2 reasons I do these streams on Friday night where I code live. Number 1, it's my way of learning in public and trying things out. I don't mind making mistakes, and I love the fact, doing it in public, I get feedback from all of you. We could try to answer questions together. And more importantly is that I continue to like fail more often and learn faster, and doing it publicly, by the way. Actually, here, I want to show you like a Twitter post I did because I wrote something that sounded really smart. Twitter. So I wrote something that like, I don't even know why, so here's my reason for why like learning in public, coding live, and sharing things. Because here's the thing, if you're learning to code, you don't share, you don't become part of the community, you don't try to engage with others, like on Twitter, LinkedIn, on YouTube, through blogging, whatever. If you don't engage in the community and you're kind of learning to code in a silo, nobody knows about you, right? No, like people don't have an idea, right? So you could, let's say it took you a year to learn to code. And let's say for that year, you didn't share any of the stuff you were learning publicly. You missed out on an opportunity of growing your network, showing your growth and showing your experience. And so was my quote. I'm a big fan of learning in public. It allows you to build experience, exposure, community, and share your progress. And it's great not just for coding, but it's also could be for anything else. But if you're coding, do it publicly. And here I am, like actually, I decided to try to learn music, and I suck at it, right? Well, I'm getting a little bit better. And so I'm kind of using that same example of learning in public, not just also coding, but, you know, like sharing like the music. So here's something that I was working on. And yeah, I might still be learning, right? I'm still trying to figure out how to make music. But the point is that I'm starting from day one, sharing my progress, and people will see like the progress that I made. They will see me building experience over time. So let's say from today to a year from now, imagine me not doing anything with music, right? Or just learning it on my own. And then a year from now, I start making videos or sharing public what I built. No, it's a waste of a year. I'm gonna make music and post it, build a community around it, learn in public, build experience as I learn, build exposure as I learn, become a member of the community, and share my progress. And this is something that we all should do with our code. We should not be afraid. And this is the exact reason. I like this part that's about to come up. I like this part. It's nice. I'm very proud of this part. Yeah, but the point is, it's like learn in public, share your code. And I see Engine Boy is doing exactly that. He's engaging with people on Twitter, and he showcased his amazing portfolio with us on YouTube. He publicly shared what he was building that experience, building that exposure, building that community. So, and this is why I code live on Fridays, regardless if anybody shows up or not, right? Because I don't care if people show up. I mean, I do care, but it's not my main goal. My main goal is like, I'm going to publicly code. I'm going to make improvements. I'm going to share what I'm doing, regardless if I make mistakes, regardless if I mess up, regardless if I get stuck, and I am learning. People will see my journey. And by the way, I've never done remix before, right? I've never done it. This is like literally my third stream working with remix. And yeah, we had some hard times, but look, we're making progress. We have our blog posts, which are using remixes, routing, nested route. I'm like already losing my mind. I gotta go sleep. And if we click on the post, we are fetching that data dynamically from our API. And this is amazing. Like we made like pretty good progress, you know? And so we're gonna continue with this. I believe what I wanna do for next stream, probably not so much handle like fixing this and figuring out how to display content. I think in terms of like remix, I think it will be important for us to figure out how to add data. And so what I think for this, we're going to create a simple form to have people who come to our blog to be able to recommend content ideas for us or topics that they want us to cover or write about. So maybe next stream we'll create a form where we cover using the remix way of how to post data to our API, and then we'll probably post it to Strapi, and then here we'll create, you know, a content type which will be, you know, blog post ideas or what have you. And so I think that's what we'll do next, because once we get through the basics of remix like we've been covering, we know how to do routing now. We get the basic idea. We know how to style it with Tailwind, which is fantastic. We know how to do nested routes like we're doing now. So for the most part, with just the skills that we have so far covered, obviously this doesn't look so impressive, but if you think of a website where you're just showcasing data, this is already enough. You could, with using Remix, Strapi, Tailwind, and the loader function and nested routing that we did will allow you to build any website which displays data. But if we want to make something a little bit more interactive or something where people are able to add data, we need to learn how to post data in Remix. And I think that's what I'm going to do in the next stream, is being able to post this data. And here's the thing, like, I just want to share with you, like, so, oh my gosh, like, I don't even know where to start. This idea of like learning publicly is amazing. There's a lot of people like, well, why you're diving into Remix? Like, because Remix is like pretty cool. And I think all of you should be going to meetups. A lot of meetups, they will ask people to give talks, which is a great way to build exposure. Like, I'm learning Remix, all the basic things that I'm learning, I'm gonna give a talk. And so I went on a meetup. I had fun, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna build a Remix app. And I just shared on Twitter that I'm building a Remix app because I got so excited attending a Remix meetup. And the organizer of the Remix meetup reached out to me and said like, hey, you'll be cool if you kind of share what you've been learning. So now I'm kind of not only building my experience, but I'm building my exposure. I'm going to literally be going to a meetup to do a lightning talk. So I think, what is it? Meetups? Is that what the website's called? I don't know. Yeah, meetups. I don't want to start a group. I want to log in. I want to look at the meetups. And so we have Remix Austin coming up. And so just by putting it out there, building publicly, making a connection, like, check this out, like, just befriending, like, I'm going to be giving a lightning talk at this meetup. And this is what I'm telling you, like, build in public, share, build your community, build that experience. Now, like, I'll be able to point and it's going to be recorded. I'll be like, hey, I went and to Remix Austin meetup and I gave a lightning talk of getting started with Remix fundamentals. And this is why I learn publicly. This is why I do these things, because don't wait to share what you're learning, right? The most important thing you could do is don't be afraid. This is why I do these live streams, to show you that anybody could do this. Like, I make mistakes all the time. I mess up all the time. You see me mess up all the time, and that's fine. But I'm getting better every day. I'm not afraid of putting myself out there, knowing that somebody might make fun of me. They're like, oh, Paul doesn't know what he's doing, or like, whatever. Get that out of your head. Don't worry about it. It's to try, mess up, iterate, and do it as fast as possible. Quantity, quantity, quantity. I'm a big believer of that. The reason why I say quantity, for most human beings, it's very hard for you to do something the same each time. Just because you are you're going to always try to do it a little bit better. This is why I tell you, do it more often, fail often, and get it done. And that's kind of like my motto. And as, by the way, if you're new to this channel, you could always check out my first video on YouTube. I was some random dude who had no idea what I was doing, and I literally transitioned careers into software engineering late in my life, and I did it through doing all the things that I'm sharing with you, not being afraid of coding publicly, not being afraid of putting myself out there, even though people will see me fall on my face and fail. But somehow over time, I not only was able to get my first job, I was able to get my second job, but then my third job, I was able to get hired by the company that, like, I love. You know, I work at Strapi now. That was like my dream job, and I got it. What's up, Alex? Good to see you. So anyway, we went longer than anticipated today, and I think, like, I feel like more people jump on the live streams much later, and you know, maybe I'll start the stream later. I don't know, like 8 o'clock for me, like US Central Time is good, but everybody's here. Man, Alex, like, putting down too much compliments to me. Yeah, so yeah, it's amazing. And there's a lot more to learning to code and, like, to get hired. You also need to have a LinkedIn presence. You need to have, like, a bunch of stuff done. So, like, tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about, if I were to learn to code all over again, what would I do? I'm going to do a stream tomorrow at 11 a.m. US Central Time. And what I want to talk about is, like, number one, the web development roadmap. Like, what do I think would be the things that you have to learn to get hired? But I'm also going to talk about, like, some of the things, like this concept of learning in public, you know, setting up certain things that you need like having a proper LinkedIn profile. You know what I mean? You know, how do you write your resume? How do you talk about your experience? You know, if you could have some nice people say nice things about you on your LinkedIn, that's pretty awesome. You know, having a basic portfolio, like a resume site, that you should have available for people to be able to find you is like super important. And again, like a lot of times, like I'm really big, don't think about things being perfect. You know, done is better than perfect. Do you have a LinkedIn? Do you have, you know, a resume site, which at least gives some basic information? I got to change my phone number. I got a different phone number. You know, it's like, you know, how are you on GitHub? Are you getting stuff done on GitHub? Are you committing code? You know what I mean? All these basic things that you have to do. How does your resume look like? So on Saturdays, those are the type of streams that I do where I talk more about how to get hired. So tomorrow, what I'm going to talk about is if I were to learn to code all over again, what would I learn? What would I do? And what are the strategy that I use? And again, this idea, I know, like, listen, if you're switching careers, you're getting started, you are, you know, you're going to be competing with other like CSS grads. You have to figure out how to stand out. So learning publicly, getting involved in the community. I want to show you, like, you know, just, you know, Strapi.io. If you go to our blogs, what's cool, and I'm just using Strapi as an example because I know this is something that they all do, but there's other companies that they have this concept of Write for a Community where you could literally learn, like, for instance, it could be with React. It could be with like Remix might have something like that. Like Netlify, I think, has something like that. Strapi has something like that where you could go ahead and you could write a post, right? And have your post be showcased on their website. And with Strapi, we have Write for Community program. If you do something cool, you could write a blog post and actually get paid for it. And what's cool is, like, here I am. I have my name on Strapi website, and I know a lot of people. So if you search like Google and you write and you search like Strapi Write for the Community, you could learn how to get involved. And I'm just using Strapi as an example, but a lot of companies have this. And so when you're starting to learn, you don't have to be an expert. You could research like a certain thing. You could build, like, it's like, how do you get data? Let's say in this example, I'm going to use like Strapi and using REST in your Remix application, like I just did in our project that we're building here. Like, I could literally write a blog post about what we learned in what we've been coding, and you could, where do we go here? And you could share it with websites. You could create a user account, maybe go into like a website like dev.to, and you could post like articles here. I think I did this, how to get started with plugin dev. Strapi with plugin, how to get started, plugin dev. Actually, I could just Google my name. And again, I'm just sharing this to show you, give you some ideas that you don't have to. Oh, I have another article that was posted here. That's kind of cool. Oh, nice. Look at that. Author Paul Berslavsky. I forgot. I didn't even, they shared this for me, but I wrote another article. And what I'm saying is that don't wait. You know, when you learn something and want to share it, like, look, I have an article on dev.to. I'm building authority. I'm building that reputation, that experience. And this is why I tell people, don't be shy. Start writing, start doing. And some people, I would start with Co instead of Express. I don't know. I would still learn Express first and then learn Co. But yeah, no, Co is awesome. But what I would say is that, unless you would say, is that don't be shy, put yourself out there, because the more things you have that point towards your experience that you could share on LinkedIn, like I could literally go like this, like copy this. This is an article I wrote. I could go to my LinkedIn. That's my Twitter. I think I closed my LinkedIn already. Hold on a second. And then I could like write a post like check out like whatever, blah, blah, blah article. Just imagine I'm typing it and share it and build my reputation, authority. And this is what I'm telling you, get involved in the community, do things together, build your network. If you want to, so you could either wait for someone to give you an opportunity and hire you, or you could create that for you by being publicly involved in the community, going to meetups, publishing articles, you know, to websites like dev.to. And a lot of people like, man, I don't know how to write. Like, how would I write? How would I even start like writing an article? Let me go back to Strapi's Write for the Community. By the way, this is a great program because you could get paid for writing stuff while building experience. But they have, let's see, submit your own article, write about a topic tutorial, article submission guidelines. Here's a template, how to get started. And so here, look, they'll show you like a great example of how to structure your article. And they actually have this amazing template that you can follow. So if you don't know how to write, you've never wrote an article, you could go ahead and check out this template. How would you write a pretty cool article that you could share with people? And a lot of people like, my English isn't that great. My English isn't that great either. So how do I write my articles? I use Grammarly. Grammarly helps me to make sure that I, you know, spell things correctly because I'm a horrible speller, and it's perfectly fine. Their free version is perfect. You don't have to pay for the service. So there's no reason for people not to write articles and to submit them. But enough talking. This is the progress we made with Remix. We're able to get data. Next stream, we're going to talk about how to post data. We'll figure out like a simple example. And so the idea is to just get all the basic blocks of like what we need to do. So we learn about routing. We learn about getting data. We learn about nested routing. Like you see here, we have our site content, but then when we click, we have it posted on the right. And so the last thing we need to do is learn how to post data, and we'll be able to create pretty cool applications with Remix. And again, I'm cheating because for my backend, I'm not even using Remix. I'm using Strapi, which allows me to easily create content like, you know, and post stuff. Like if I want to add another post, I could easily do it from Strapi, right? I could do create new entry, test, new post, whatever. I'm going to add this image because I'm too lazy to add new image. New post. Let's add a tag and publish. And now when we go to our Remix application, refresh, right there, look at that. Our API is working, our backend is working. We have that new article, and then now we could, and this is pretty awesome. And we'll fix the styling later. I'm a big proponent, like get it working, then refactor, get it working, refactor. But with that being said, I wanted to do an hour. I went 2 hours, and it seems a lot more people jump on a little bit later. So I'm going to consider maybe like starting this much later. We learned my super secret method of how I create my layout. Here's the cool trick. Before I go, let me share this in case you just jumped on. If you're using Tailwind in your project, you could go to a place like ThemeForest. And by the way, I bought this theme, and I could just copy and paste that into my code. But let's say you don't want to buy stuff, but you want to find some inspiration. If you and you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. I wonder, how do you build this card? Like, how did Paul build his card? And you could like, especially when you're learning, this is a great way. You could literally check out how did they do it? Like, what do they have here? And you could actually, for learning purposes, go copy element. And this is kind of something similar that we did. I went to code. I created my card component, and I pasted that HTML. I refactored it to match. And what's cool, because I'm using Tailwind and that theme uses Tailwind, all the basic attributes were already here. And so for me, I'm able to focus and iterate through the process like really quickly. And here's like our post here, right? And so if you we're not going back home. If you take a look at how this looks, it's literally what we got from here, you see? And I'm not saying you have to copy and paste, but I just wanted to show this to show you how easily you could learn how to structure your HTML using Tailwind. You could see how they style. And so even though you might not be the best at CSS, this is one way you can kind of get through this stuff fairly quickly. So with that being said, I just want to say, I don't know why you watch these streams, but I do appreciate it. And I want to say thank you so much for stopping by. Tomorrow's stream is going to be pretty exciting. We're going to talk about if I wanted to learn to code all over again, what would I learn? That's going to be 11 a.m. US Central Time. So if you could make it, that's awesome. If not, that's okay too. And again, what I would say is make sure that you're trying things, you're failing, you're breaking things, and you're actually coding. Notice how I'm not following a tutorial building this. I'm literally following the documentation. I'm looking at, the Remix docs. I'm looking at Tailwind docs, and I'm just trying things. Yes, it's painful to watch someone fail many times over and over again, but that's the process. And everything that I learned today, I'm going to remember because I did the work myself. I didn't count on the tutorial. I got stuck a bunch of time. I tried to explore a few things and to figure it out. And that's a perfect normal way of coding. So with that being said, we're at 2 hours. I'm going to go relax, have some tea, watch a movie or something. Actually just checked out the new Predator movie, Prey. It was kind of cool. And if you're able to make the stream tomorrow at 11 a.m., fantastic. If not, that's okay too. Regardless if people watch me or not, I'm going to continue to code. The things that I've done have served for me well. So if you're trying to get a job and you're trying to figure out what should you do, there's a lot of people online that tell you, buy this course, buy that course. Nothing wrong. We have to start with courses. But go ahead, watch some of my earlier videos on YouTube. I was literally some random dude who had no idea what he was doing. And I went from not knowing anything. Took me a long time, by the way. I'm not going to lie. It was a lot of hard work. Not only was I able to get my first job, I was able to get my second job, my third job, and now I'm working at Strapi, which is amazing, my favorite company. And I'm just going to work there until they like as long as they let me. And so if I can do it, you can do it. But when I tell you my tips, if I tell you learn in public, if I tell you don't be shy, get out there, work with a community, write some more blog posts, I'm not telling you this for my sake. I don't get anything out of this channel. Like I don't make money on this channel. I lose money. I just do it because I want to, number one, continue to grow as a member in the community. I want to give back to the community. I want to share what I learned. And selfishly, what does this channel help me? Well, it helps me to get better at coding live, presenting things live. It allows me to learn to speak about code. It allows me to build relationships with other YouTubers. It allows me to find other opportunity that I would not have if I wasn't doing this publicly. So it's, the things that I tell you to do is because I know they're going to work for you. And they're not easy, they're hard, they require a lot of work. But if you're trying to stack the deck in your favor, try to break into this field, especially if you don't have a computer science degree, this is the way to do it. Ask Alex. He's here in the chat. Ask Engine Boy. They all made progress. They all started as self-taught developers, and they were able to do it. And I was able to do it. And if you ask them, it's a lot of work, but you can do it. But anyway, with that being said, Alex, we got to do another stream. Let me know when you want to come on. It'll be awesome to have you again. So hit me up, Alex, on Twitter. We'll stream again. I'm like, so sleepy, so tired. But thank you so much again. I'm trying to end the stream for like past 2 hours. It's terrible. But anyway, I'll check everybody later. Alex, we definitely got to do another stream. Hit me up when your schedule. Let me know your schedule. I would say stop by tomorrow, 11 a.m. US Central Time, but I think it's going to be a crazy time for you. It'll be cool. Like if you want to stop by, what time is it for you right now, Alex, before I go? Because it'll be cool to have you tomorrow. If not tomorrow, we could do the following week or the next week. But I think 11 a.m. US Central Time. I don't know if that works for you. I'm just going to wait a few minutes to see. Otherwise, what we'll do, like it'll be cool to chat, talk about if we were to learn. I'm out with the family on the holiday. Oh no, yeah, definitely. Forget that I mentioned the stream. We'll do it on another time. Yeah, definitely have fun with your family as everybody should. And yeah, 6 a.m. is too crazy. Oh my God, 6 a.m. right now. Actually, yeah. So 11 a.m. would be like your evening time at some point. I have no idea. But anyway, Alex, we'll definitely schedule it. No worries. You should definitely hang out with your family. I should also learn to take time off and hang out. And so with that being said, man, thanks so much, everybody. and I'll see everybody later. Have a good night. And thank you for tuning in. Coffee, Code, and Chat. And then tomorrow, Engine Boys, 8:40 a.m. here. Nice. Anyway, I'm about to pound some food, watch a good movie. I'm probably gonna code. No more coding, Paul. Go watch a movie. So I'll see everybody later. Thanks. Take care and bye.